So I don't know if you saw my last video, my last book video on my summer reads, but I probably read like 4 or 5 of the books that I had on my summer reading list. So we're just not gonna talk about that. I want to talk about the books that I read in August and the books that I plan on reading in September. I've got my handy dandy reading journal to help keep me on track as to, what books I read in August. So it looks like I started out with Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I love this book. If you know me at all, you know I love vampires. I've always been obsessed with vampires. So this book was a must read. I think that it was such a cool glimpse into the life of a vampire. I loved the subtle, just the nonchalant time skips towards, checking in with our characters. I think that it was a very character driven book. And then towards the end, it tried to kind of add in a plot, which I would have just been happy continuing on with the, I would have just been happy getting the character study. I don't think the plot was necessary. It felt kind of last minute, but overall, I loved this book. The writing was beautiful, even if it was a little bit repetitive at some times, but the writing was beautiful. I don't love the characters are very flawed and realistic, and that's why I love them. So I gave this book 4 stars. It was almost a 5-star, but the random kind of plot that's generated, it feels pretty last minute in the book. Just kind of threw me off a little bit, and then the repetitive descriptions of the writing sometimes. At first, I really liked the embellished, flowery, poetic, prose of the story, and then I guess a little bit further into it, it just felt like a little much. I don't know. So for my overall rating, I gave this book 4 stars, a plot rating of 5 stars because I loved it, and then a character rating of 4 stars because there's one character who, I don't know, they just seemed really randomly placed, and I didn't get enough, their story compared to the other 2 ladies' stories was very thin and sparse for me. Sorry if I'm talking weird. I just got my snake bites a couple weeks ago, and I'm still adjusting. So Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil was awesome. I loved it. Next up, I listened to the audiobook for The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. I was very excited to read this book because I read Lone Women by Victor LaValle earlier this year, and I really enjoyed it. This book, I was lost. I didn't understand it. So I don't really know what to say. I will probably try to reread it again in the future, but about the halfway point, it just kind of lost me. It's, I guess, pretty Lovecraftian, abstract, cosmic horror, I guess. And so, on one hand, it feels like it's not meant to be understood, and on the other hand, it's just, I couldn't follow, so I didn't really enjoy it that much. So I ended up giving that book 2 stars, a plot rating of 2 stars, and a character rating of 3 stars because I did like the main character, Black Tom. After that, I read Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker, and I did love this book. It took me a really long time to finish it. One of my goals for this year is to read more physical books instead of listening to audiobooks because I feel I just want to be able to read more physical books. I want to get faster at reading. I want to be able to, I feel like it works different muscles, Audiobooks are great for being on the go and when I'm at work and stuff, but instead of scrolling on my phone, I feel like I could be reading a book. And so that's kind of what's driving me to put down technology more and actually read some books. So I finished Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazang. It took me a while, but I did it, and I felt so accomplished when I did finish it. I love this book. The one thing that I will say about it is heavy. Like, it's emotionally heavy. It's in third person, but we're getting everything from Cora's point of view. And Cora's got her own internal demons that she's struggling with, external demons that she's struggling with. Like, it is heavy at some points, specifically in the first half when like they're kind of setting the tone. We're getting to know Cora, we're getting to know her thought process, how she thinks, what she thinks about, and that part is heavy because she, like I said, she's got her own mental health struggles, and then on top of that, like the world externally is like crashing down around her essentially. This is a great book. The writing is awesome. I love it. And I was hesitant to pick this up because I'd seen it, but I had underestimated how much horror it would actually have in it. But it's there, alright? If you like horror, you're gonna get some stuff out of this book. It can be a little graphic sometimes. And then at some points, I felt like the descriptions were a little bit repetitive. Like just, I don't know, describing the same thing in the same way, or I don't know. So that's like one of my biggest cons about this book. I gave this book a 4-star overall rating, 4 stars in plot, and 5 stars in character rating because the characters are awesome. My favorite character was Zife. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I was not expecting half the shit that happened to happen. Like, it takes you for a loop. It's good. Like, read this book. Read Corazang. Next up, I finished A Head Full of Ghosts a couple nights ago. As I'm filming this, it's September 2nd. Hopefully I'll be able to get this out in, like, you know, the first week of September. You guys, I love Paul Tremblay. He's my favorite writer. I have always said, like, after reading Horror Movie, I said that, like, he might become one of my favorite writers. And so I have to date read The Cabin at the End of the World, Horror Movie, The Pallbearers Club, and I guess A Head Full of Ghosts. I feel like I've read one more, but I can't remember. But he's solidified himself as one of my favorite writers. I love Paul Tremblay, and everything that I have read by him makes me eat it up. I highly recommend him for his like all the audiobooks are all amazing. I remember trying to read Horror Movie, the physical copy, and I was lost. I have it on my e-reader. I was lost, but when I picked up the audiobook, it was a whole different experience, and it was amazing. So if you're thinking about getting into Paul Tremblay, or you don't like Paul Tremblay because you tried to read a physical book, I highly recommend trying to listen to an audiobook, because I love him. Like, everybody always, whenever I look up one of his books, there's always so much hate, and it's like, oh yeah, but it was really slow at some points, and I don't feel that at all. I know that if I'm going into a Paul Tremblay book, I'm not going to be able to put it down. There are no slow moments, and if it's a slow moment, it's got something else to make up for it, which doesn't make it a slow moment to me. Like, I love Paul Tremblay. So I actually didn't finish writing my review for it because I think I fell asleep. But I think I'm going to give this book 4 stars. I don't know. It was a really unique kind of book for me. I've never read anything like Exorcism was. And so I really liked, the horror was there. I was creeped out. I was unsettled. It was good. And the only thing is, if you like, I could see why some people don't like Paul Tremblay, because it seems that he has his like kind of style figured out. He likes to leave things kind of abstract and open-ended, and if you are the type of person that likes to read and like get definite answers, then yeah, Paul Tremblay is not going to be for you, probably most of the time. But I love this book, so I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I don't know, there's just something holding me back from giving it 5 stars. I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm gonna try to write a little bit more about it, and then probably make a review on TikTok or a full review here. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, Paul Tremblay has solidified himself as one of my favorite authors of all time. I will eat up whatever that man decides to put out. So now let's transition into the books that I have reading goal-wise for the month of September, my birthday month. So to start off, my current reads are The Postmortal by Drew Madgery. I really like this book. I was kind of like working myself up to start it because I felt like it was gonna be slow, and like I was like trying to hype myself up to just get through the slow part until it hopefully, you know, hooks you. But like I think by the time that second page, I was already like, oh my god, what? And I am just really enjoying this book. It's written in such a way that like the chapters, they're not really chapters, they're just different segments of the book, are kind of quick, and that makes me feel like I'm reading through it quickly, you know? So I really like this book so far, and I'm glad I got it. I actually originally picked this up because I got tagged in like the Rainbow Reading Challenge on TikTok, and was tasked with reading a green book, and I didn't have any green books, and I just saw this on the shelf and thought that the cover looked cool, and I'm so glad that I picked this because I really, really am loving this book, and I highly recommend it so far. So then next up, after The Postmortal by Drew Madgery, I plan on reading Mary by Nat Cassidy. I have had this book for a really long time, and on TikTok, everybody who has read Nat Cassidy is like completely like enthusiastic and enthralled. So I can't wait to give this a go. And then I've heard that they have another book, like Nestlings, that's about vampires, that obviously I really want to read. I've heard that it's really gross and like, you know, disturbing. So that's gonna be a book for probably October. I am currently listening to All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby for my audiobook. It's definitely kind of like the hardest to keep my attention of all of the S.A. Cosby books that I've read so far. I've read Razorblade Tears, Blacktop Wasteland, and so I guess this is my third one. And Blacktop Wasteland was my favorite. I would probably put Razorblade Tears after that, and then this one after All the Sinners Bleed after Razorblade Tears. But also I don't know, because work has been particularly hard for me lately, so I've been like really tired and zoning out. So I don't know if like it's my brain that's just not receiving it the same because of how tired I am. But I do appreciate S.A. Cosby and like the grace that he has in writing about hard situations. It's not, or like he's not just like writing gross stuff. Like he has nuance to his writing, especially with the themes of that he's covering in All the Sinners Bleed. It's not like explicit stuff. It's what it is, and then like left up to your imagination if you choose to imagine stuff like that, you know? And I really appreciate that as somebody who, you know, doesn't like to think about things like that. I have enough intrusive thoughts on my own. I don't need to fuel them. So I really like love S.A. Cosby for that fact. Like he doesn't have to write explicit and like details for his point to come across. So I'm listening to the audiobook for that. I also plan on reading Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Zhang. I'm really excited for this book. I've heard great things about it, so I'm looking forward to this one. These are in no particular order. So yeah. I also plan on reading The Between by Tanana Reed-Dew. I recently got this from the library. I have the hardcover, which if you follow me on TikTok, I am doing a giveaway of the cloth bound copy that I have, because now that I have the paperback, like, I'm never touching that thing again. So I definitely want to get to this. It's been on my list for a really long time. The only thing that was holding me back was that I had the hardcover, and you know, who wants to lug around a hardcover? I really want to start reading Hell's Paradise because I love the anime so much. So this is gonna be awesome. I have this on my e-reader too. I've got the first 2 volumes on my e-reader, so might be interchangeable, I don't know, but nothing beats the actual physical book, you know, so probably we'll read this physical copy. And then last but not least, I'm going to the beach in like a week and a half. It coincides with my birthday, even though it's for my daughter. I don't really like the beach like that, but that was the cheapest time that we could go and get the hotel. So my beach read is going to be Britney Spears' The Woman in Me by Britney Spears, probably. And I've been wanting to read this since it came out, and I'm really excited for it, and I think it's going to be the perfect beach read because it's Britney, bitch. So, yeah. These are the books that I plan on reading in September. Please let me know if you've read any of them, if you have any thoughts on the books that I read in August, and any reviews that you want to see. I want to get better at reviews. So I'm gonna put some out. I don't know when or of what, but I'm gonna work on it, alright? So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you're gonna be reading, and have a great day. Happy reading. Bye.